Hi everybody, I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Monday, March 24th. On today's show, we'll see how Doppler radar technology helped golfers recently at the Shell Point Golf Club. We'll also start a two-part series about the LifeQuest Aquatic Center, specifically about its construction, as we review a time-lapse video we filmed of the entire construction process. But first, we want to remind you about a special event happening this afternoon at the Village Church. Brian Oxley of Periwinkle has a collection of ancient Bibles printed in English, even going back before the King James Version of 1611. He's offering the rare privilege to see these ancient Bibles up close and even touch their pages at an event this afternoon at 1:15 in the Village Church. All are welcome, and we'll learn more about this event later in today's show. Now tomorrow, there are several events to look for. At the Assisted Living Spring Open House and Tour, you can learn from Rita Southern the details of how you can access assisted living when you need it, and also enjoy a light continental breakfast. Then go on a tour, including sneak peeks at a number of residential apartments, as well as taking some time to mingle with Shell Point's assisted living ambassadors. This is a perfect time to get all your assisted living questions answered by both staff and residents, and to tour the amenities of the Arbor. The event takes place tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the Arbor Dining Room. The event is free, but seating is limited, so please call 454-2077 to RSVP today. Also tomorrow, the Shell Point Golf Club welcomes the fine people of Bridgestone Golf Balls, who will offer a free golf ball fitting, matching you up with the golf balls that are just right for your game. This free event happens tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Shell Point Golf Club. The golf course also hosted Ping drivers last week, and our cameras were there.
My name is Gary Keating, golf professional, Shell Point Golf Club. As you can see behind me, we have the Ping demonstration day here today. Most players today, 90% of players actually, are playing with incorrectly fitted clubs. Generally, shaft is too stiff and the lie angle is incorrect. The lie angle can influence ball flight 90 degrees left and 90 degrees right. We'll also check for flat shaft flex. You'll see behind me there's a small machine on the driving range that is Doppler system. Throughout the Doppler system, what that will do, once we hit some golf shots, it will dial a perfect shaft in for that particular student or client based upon ball velocity, spin ratio, launch angle.
Ball speed 124 miles per hour, launch angle 9.3 degrees, shot draw 526 RPMs.
From these combinations of information we receive, we can actually dial a shaft in for that perfect student so they can reach the optimum distance and control the golf course. So today, even if you don't buy some clubs today, we can actually just check your clubs and we can give you some advice how to get them clubs tailor-fitted for you. On site here at Shell Point, we do have loft and lie machines. We can actually make some changes to several different golf clubs. Now you'll notice the 25th of this month, Bridgestone will also be here for the ball fitting, and they'll actually take some pictures of the golf club making contact with the golf ball, and from that we can determine whether the ball you're playing is correct or not. For an example, if you're hitting the ball too high, there's golf balls on the market can reduce the ball flight. If you're hitting the ball too low, once again, there's golf balls can actually get the golf ball in the air more. The advantages of this, once again, just like today, the student or the client could reach their pinnacle performance while playing golf. So it won't be so stressful for you on the golf course. Please come out and join us. You can contact us at 239-433-9790 or shellpointgolf.com.
One other note to put on your calendar for tomorrow: it's the final concert of the season for the Southwest Florida Symphony Orchestra, focusing on a romantic master composer, Felix Mendelssohn. The symphony calls this program their Mendelssohn Marathon and includes two of his Scottish-inspired works, the symphonic poem Fingal's Cave and the evergreen Scotch Symphony. In the Fair Melusina Overture, mysterious water sprites and ancient curses abound. And twilight becomes magical with his most famous of works, the Overture to Midsummer Night's Dream. Join us for a Mendelssohn Marathon tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. in the church auditorium. Get your tickets at either service desk. Now, let's turn our attention to the brand new LifeQuest Aquatic Center. The swimming pools are now open for use, and many residents and their families have taken advantage of the hot tub, the lap pool, and the exercise pool. As amazing as the new Aquatic Center is, it's even more amazing to learn the story of how it was built. Last year, we installed a time-lapse camera overlooking the construction site and captured the entire process from beginning to end. I sat down with Bob Southern to learn more about how the LifeQuest Aquatic Center came to be. Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike here with Shell Point TV. With me is Bob Southern, the Director of Project Development, and today we're going to look at footage that we've shot of the Aquatic Center, the LifeQuest Aquatic Center, as it's being built. We're going to start with the very first step after the old island pool closed. So you had to tear out all of this vegetation.
Yeah, this machine is, when it's run by a good operator, can be very particular in how it works. I mean, it grabs, and it can grab specific items, and it can work in a way that separates materials, and they use it in that way to separate parts of a building that can be recycled from parts of a building that just have to be trashed. So in this particular case, they're just removing palm trees, but when a building is being torn down, they can separate the metals that they can sell and make money from the stuff that just goes to the dump. So a good operator uses that in a way that is really interesting to watch, and it almost works like a hand and a thumb.
Talk about why digging out of that soil was such an important part of the process.
Well, back in the early days of the construction of Shell Point, and back in those days in the mid-1960s, vegetation that was on a site was often just knocked over, perhaps sometimes burned, but was not removed. And fill was brought in and just placed on top of it. Well, that vegetation over time turned into a substance similar to peat moss, and it was very compressible. So you had a substance under there that was often several feet thick that was like a sponge that you could mash down. So it created a situation where buildings would mash that loamy substance down and settle. And that is not a good thing for buildings, which creates settling floors, cracking walls, and other problems that we have seen in a number of the earlier buildings that were constructed at Shell Point. It's often referred to as muck. And it smells like muck when you dig it up. You know you're digging it up because it smells bad.
That's a technical term.
That's a very technical construction term. But you dig down to it and you remove it, and you dig down to the point where you get down to good, clean soil underneath of it. And you haul it off, and you bring good, clean, compactable fill back in, and you compact it as you fill the hole where it came out of, and you build it up to the level that you're going to build on. Now, that's not bad soil. It's a good topsoil, and we do use that in perimeters of projects and in places as a topsoil. So we didn't just waste it.
But it's not a good foundation.
It's not a good foundation. It's not compactable. We went down and got it out of there.
Well, let's orient people. Right now, we're looking from the second floor of the guest house. This is where our camera was located, and it took a picture every 30 seconds for 6 months. So we documented the entire construction process. And right now, Bob, can you describe kind of what stage the construction is in at this very beginning of the video?
Yes, you're looking over the construction superintendent's little trailer there. And this is at the point where the muck has been removed, and we're just starting to try to pour the foundation on the left-hand portion of the picture where the pool house is going to go. And this was back in the summer, And it was raining a lot back then, you may remember, and we were trying to prepare for the concrete pour. And I think the guys actually did it like 4 or 5 times, because every time they get the site ready for concrete, we get a heavy rain and wash out all the soil that was there ready for concrete. So it took a better part of a week on what should have been a day's worth of work to get that ready for concrete. And that was one of the reasons that the job was later to finish in the other end, because of those heavy rains we had during last summer.
Is the rainy season anyway, yes. But this was particularly bad.
Especially heavy rain time.
Yeah. Now, so they're preparing the building on the left. No, the building on the right, what is that?
The building on the right is combination storage for chairs and tables and whatnot on one side, and pool equipment, chemicals, pumps, filters, that kind of equipment out there.
So they poured the concrete, they poured the footers, and I see they've got blocks there. Tell me what these guys are doing.
These are the block masons, the guys with the really big arms. You hardly have to speed up this film for that, because those guys are just quick. And they know what they're doing when you get good ones, and they lay block in a hurry. And when they get in and get going, they'll have a wall up for you very quickly. And so they're blocking the main exterior walls of the building, and any interior walls that also need to be blocked, and getting it up to the point where you're ready to form out and pour the tie beam around the top of the block, and then getting ready for the roof trusses.
Now, in the meantime, I see stakes going up kind of where the main pool is going to be. The hole isn't dug yet, is it?
No, the hole isn't dug. They start to lay out the site and determine where the pool is going to go, and what the shape is going to be, and where a lot of the underground piping needs to go. There is a network of pipes that bring water in, take water out, move it from the scuppers and the main drains at the bottom of the pool. So there's a large network of pipes under there, and there's a huge support system of reinforcement steel that has to be established to hold the concrete shell in place, to try to make sure you don't ever have any settlements or cracks in that shell. Obviously, a crack in a building is bad. A crack in a pool is real bad. So the steel, and then the reinforcement steel, how and where it's placed, is critical.
And they had to do this process for several different pools. It wasn't just one pool.
Yes, we actually had 2 full pools and the hot tub out there. And the main pool had a very interesting shape with its lap pools and its deeper swimming area, and the kind of the throat that connected those two. And then it also had the zero entrance feature. So it was a multi-faceted pool in itself. And then the exercise / therapy pool had the interesting ramp that went into that pool. So it had a very neat, interesting feature in itself, and had a lot of steel and concrete in that also. So there was a lot of layout work to get all that steel in, working in and around all those pipes and water movement pipes that you need to get the water in and water out.
I want to bring people's attention to the right here, this little bobcat that's moving dirt. What are they doing here?
They have to create places to put the water that fills into the pool holes. The groundwater is very close to the surface here in the island at Shell Point. You can practically take a soup spoon and dig down a few inches and get water. So when you're digging a hole that you have to build in, you've got to be constantly pumping water out of that hole. So in order to do that on this site, we created a retention pond, and from the pool hole sites, we were pumping the water from the pool into these retention ponds that were temporary in nature. We couldn't get a permit to just dump this water out into a storm drain and out into the canals, so we had to keep it on site.
So you're managing both dirt and water.
Dirt and water, that's correct.
Now let's talk about what's happening here. They're digging the hole for
the hot tub.
And then I see wooden forms going up in the exercise pool.
That's right. They're starting to shape that the sides of that pool, and working on the steel that the reinforcement steel that will hold that concrete in place.
Okay, and now I see them really going to town on the main pool, digging out the hole.
Yes, and they're still pumping water into those retention areas.
And then here's the trusses.
So a lot of things are happening around the site at once, a lot of coordination. You see a lot of trucks and people coming and going. It's a tight spot and a lot was going on, and the superintendent on the site had to make sure everybody played nice and got along and did their work with a minimum of knocking heads in the process.
Let's take a look at building this cupola here.
We designed a fairly elaborate little roof feature, the cupola, and the structure to accommodate that. And the guys are finishing the basic roof structure, and then they start working on that cupola, the structure of that feature. And it had some openings in it and places for light and air to move through it. The entire aquatic center deserved a nice little feature right there at its entrance. So that's why we put the time and effort into that building and that roof design.
So this shot, Bob, I happen to know this started at 4 in the morning, pouring concrete for the main pool. Talk about this day.
Well, often when you're pouring concrete, particularly in the summertime or when it's hot, you've got to start early and try to get the bulk of the work done before it gets very hot, so that it doesn't set up too quickly.
And let's describe for people this gunite process. Describe, because this isn't just mixing concrete and pouring it, they're actually shooting it out of a gun.
Yes, they are. You can see there, it comes out, again, it's very dry, and they are controlling this hose, and it comes out of the truck very dry, and they build it up. And they just keep spraying in the same area and building it up until it covers the reinforcement steel, and it gets out to the thickness that they want it. And you can see all the steel there that they have to cover, and it takes a good while to do that. And after it gets out close to where they want it, then they have some finish guys work it a bit to give it kind of the final shape that they want. It is difficult work, and it's takes a lot of strength and a lot of endurance, and that machine doesn't quit, and it doesn't let up. There's not easier times. It just keeps shooting that concrete.
So while that happened and now the concrete forms are set up, here we have the roofing material here. It's like a jigsaw puzzle almost.
Yeah, this is a type of metal roofing that's been used in Florida or something very similar to it for a long time, and it has an old Florida look to it. And the pieces are cut and fit as you follow along the roof edges, and then they have some cap pieces that go with it. And these guys are very experienced in what they do to make those pieces fit and cut them to fit and make sure that we don't have leaks in the design. But it's a very reliable roof that lasts for a lot of years.
On tomorrow's show, you'll learn about all the finishing touches, such as how a chickie hut is built, and how the parking lot also doubles as a retention pond. That's all on tomorrow's show. But first, let's get a preview of this week's Channel 13 radio program, Listening to the Words.
Were you living at Shell Point 2 years ago this month when Listening to the Words program number 60 opened with Gulf Coast Writers Association member Patty Westbrook telling the story of her year-old golden retriever breaking through the ice of a pond? Patty saw wild-eyed panic in her dog's face, paws grabbing desperately for the thin ice, only to break it again and again. Join me this week for an encore performance of this classic program that ranges from a story involving a dog, a duck, and a deer, to memories of a small Ohio town told by a lifelong friend of the son of now 95-year-old Shell Point resident Betty Linz. Also hear the story of a man who defines himself by what he called his perfect walking stick. Remember the dates and ages, and these stories are from March of 2012. I'm your reader-host, David Howenstein, reminding you that this 30-minute encore program will be airing twice an hour each day all this week on your Shell Point Channel 13.
Happy Monday, everyone. I'm Leslie Brand, and I'm here to tell you what's going on today. We're going to start at 8 o'clock in the men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts. 8:30, beach day. Pickups will start at 8:30 on the island, 8:40 at the Woodlands, 8:50 Eagles Preserve, and sign-up is required. 9:15, we have billiards in the Resident Activity Center. Also at 9:15 is pottery, instruction available in the pottery studio. 9:15, we have virtual bowling in the Resident Activity Center. 10 o'clock is men's match play doubles tennis at the tennis courts. Also at 10 o'clock, we have the Suzy Q going out to Matanzas for lunch. Sign-up is required. 10:30, Disciple Men's Bible Study Group will be in the game room at the Woodlands. 10:45, Table Tennis Playing Clinic will be in the Tarpon Room. 11:30, we have a Health Connection Specifics in Strength Training in the Health Club. That class is currently full. 12 o'clock, Mahjong in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. A lot of 1:15 activities. We'll start with celebrating the English Bible at the Village Church, Scrabble at the Library Lounge, and our last 1:15, table tennis in the Tarpon Room. The model train room is open for tours down in the tunnel from 1:30 to 3:30. And we have a Health Connections Balance and Mobility Training Level 1 at 1:45 in the Health Club. That class is currently full. The Beady-Eyed Beat Club will meet in the Oak Room at 2 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we have a Health Connections Pilates Stretch in the Health Club on the island. 3:15, the Shell Point Singers rehearse in the choir room at the Village Church. And we're going to jump to 6 o'clock, the Teacher Training Seminar in the Hospitality Room of the Village Church. And to end the day at 6:30, we have Duplicate Bridge in the game room at the Woodlands. Well, thank you for tuning in with the Happening segment of Shell Point TV today, and I hope you have a happy and healthy day.
Hello, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for Monday. At 10:15, iWork, creating spreadsheets, continues in the Manatee Room on the island. At 10:30, the Anatomy of Words continues in the Oak Room of the Woodlands, and all are welcome. I'd like to tell you about a couple new classes coming tomorrow. Professor Adrian Kerr will continue the story of Pakistan and Afghanistan. And Joe Kramer of Lakewood will teach after prep school basics. We'll also have an Academy on the Go educational field trip, an enchanting day exploring Butterfly World.
Menus for Monday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is jerk chicken with mixed grilled vegetables and jeweled rice. The dinner special is home cooking night for $9.95, and the soup of the day is vegetable beef. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Monday, enjoy a bacon cheeseburger with onion rings for $7.25. The dinner special is grilled tilapia with buttered pasta and fresh spinach for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Mondays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I have a special guest here with me, Brian Oxley, who's one of the residents here at Shell Point, who's made possible a wonderful opportunity for us to see some extraordinary Bibles. And we have an event that's taking place this coming Monday afternoon at 1:15, March 24, at the Village Church Auditorium, in which we will be basically celebrating the English Bible because of the occasion that we have to see some extraordinary Bibles. Brian, you've come into acquisition of some marvelous literature here. Yes. So tell us a little bit about the collection that you've been able to acquire, and then we'll talk about how that's going to fit in with this event that we're having on Monday.
Well, the collection, which was purchased in London, is a collection of 27 English Bibles. starting with the Tyndale Bible through the King James.
This is a very significant historic set, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it's probably in the top 10 Bible collections in America.
Wow. Well, that's really exciting. You know, I never expected in my lifetime to actually be able to see the Bibles that were printed in the 16th and 17th centuries like these. And so tell us about some of the more significant Bibles in this collection that we'll be able to see.
Well, and this ties to the film, which I have seen on more than one occasion, and it's fantastic.
It's called The Book That Changed the World.
The Book That Changed the World. Well, the King James Bible was translated in 1611. Now, this one here is 1613. 1613. King James was an incredible scholar, and this film will show that, how he was prepared for this book. The Church of England had one Bible. It was the only Bible that was authorized to have in the church, and that was the Bishop's version, and that's right here.
That's that one.
Yeah, 1569, the Bishop's version, okay? And to them, this was the book, okay? Then you had the Catholics over here, and then you had the Puritans. And their preferred book was the Geneva Bible. But, we're residents of Shell Point, and, I know everybody here has great eyesight. That's why I wear glasses. So for those who want to test their vision, I've also brought a few little mini Bibles.
Incredible.
This one from the 1700s, 18th century. And here's a little children's Bible with beautiful colored pictures in. So we'll have 10 or 15 of those for those that are interested. And here, you might wonder what this thing's sitting over here for. This is, I believe, a complete Bible. You got to be Superman to read this one. But anyway, and it would be placed there so people could go and read the Bible, but they couldn't take it home.
Well, that's called Celebrating the English Bible. It's coming up this Monday, March 24th at 1:15. It'll be in the church auditorium. We'll watch the movie, The Book That Changed the World, and have on display 27 Bibles from the 16th and 17th centuries, some of the most extraordinary collections that I certainly could ever hope to imagine, and they're right here at Shell Point just for a very brief time. So you'll want to make sure that you join us this coming Monday at 1:15. Thanks so much, Brian, for being with us. It's a pleasure, and we'll look forward to it. I can't wait till the afternoon.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Thank you.
Good day, and hope to see you soon.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as Leslie Brand invites you for a road trip on Route 66. We'll also see part 2 of our time-lapse feature on the construction of the new LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Monday, March 24th. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.